going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Wonder Woman. Here we do have Wonder Woman in the packaging. Really been looking forward to this figure. What we're going to do now is take a little break, get her opened up, and I'll have a better look at Wonder Woman. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have the DC Essentials Wonder Woman posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what she comes with. Wonder Woman does come with one accessory. She does come with a fist for her right hand, and then she also does come with an open right hand. Unfortunately, we don't get a sword with this figure. We don't get a shield. We don't even get a lasso that comes off, which is a huge missed opportunity because Wonder Woman normally has a sword, a shield, and of course her lasso. That is something that I think they could have added with this figure, and it shows that they just chose not to include it. But anyway, what we're going to do is have a closer look at Wonder Woman, and we'll go over some things I like about this figure, and the one glaring issue that I really don't like about this figure. So let's take a closer look. And so here we have a closer look at Wonder Woman, and did they do a gorgeous job on this face sculpt or what? On the prototype, it didn't look this nice. This is one instance that I feel like the face is much better on the actual figure than the prototype. I don't know if it's how clean the paint is. You can see her eyeshadow is done really well. Her eyes are just painted beautifully. There's so much to like about the face on this figure. Now, mine does have one glaring imperfection, and that is that little scratch right there on her chin. I guess you can chalk it up to a battle scar, but it would have been nice if mine didn't have that, and I think that's the only thing I don't like about this head sculpt. But it's such a beautiful head sculpt. The headband is painted wonderfully. The eyes are just beautiful. They're really enticing. She almost looks Egyptian if I were to just cover up the bottom half of her face. But that's a really good job. Going on to her hair, I really do like this really neutral position that they have for her hair. Yeah, it's swaying off to the side just a little bit, but I still like the way it looks. It has a really nice natural flow to it. Adding a little bit of blue would have brought out some of the detailing on it, which I think they should have, because it's just black plastic. There's no real highlights in it, but it's still done really, really nicely. So overall, the head and hair look really good, although I do feel like her head is a little bit flat right on this side. Maybe they could have puffed her hair out just a little bit more like they did on this side, but overall it's still a really good job. Having a look at her costume, you can see they did a really good job sculpting her top. You can see the eagle is done really well, although I feel like the head of the eagle might be a little bit too long. In the comics, I think it's a little bit shorter than that, but I'll have to go back and double check. But as far as her costume goes, it's really, really accurate to her rebirth look, which is what they're going for. Really do love the texturing on her top right here. You can see she has some panel lining, which I think it's a really good inclusion onto the character. It does add a level of detail to her costume that really wasn't there before. And I think this is actually molded in red plastic, but it's such a nice shiny metallic red that it does actually work with this figure. So I am glad that they did include that. You can see there is supposed to be a gold line going around the top. You can see right here under her arm it's a little bit sloppy, but on this side it's a little bit better. So that's going to vary from person to person. You can see she does have the Wonder Woman bracer right here on her left bicep, which is interesting because normally we see this bracer on the right side of her rebirth costume. Going on to her gauntlets, you can see they're done really well. The silver is beautifully applied, and it has some panel lining in there just to give it a little bit of detail. But it's done in such a nice silver plastic that I really can't complain about that. Same on both sides, and then we don't have a bracer on this side. Having a look at her belt, you can see they sculpted the Wonder Woman emblem really well. You can see it goes all the way to the back. And then they did some line work on her skirt, which is really clean for the most part. There are, of course, some places where it's not going to look as clean as it could be. Like take right here, for instance. It did miss the mark just by a little bit, but something like that isn't something to get upset about. And of course we do have the gold star painted right here in the middle. Although On all the other Rebirth Wonder Woman, the star's on the side, so I don't know if this was a creative decision or if it was just like that in the comics. Again, I'll have to go back and double check. Not wearing anything on her thighs, so they did a good job there. Sculpted the armor right here on her, just right above her knee, as well as painted and sculpted the strap so it does continue all the way around. One thing I do want to point out is that there's no straps on the knee pad, so it kind of looks like the knee pad is just a floating piece of armor. There should be a strap, or it should be connected right here at the boot, but that's neither here nor there. You can see she does have some skin showing right here on her calf, but then it does get covered up by the boot, which is of course cast in that same red that her top is. And again, it's a beautiful red. It's like a metallic red. It's not 100% metallic, but you can see some glitter flakes in there, so it does look really good. Gold is painted cleanly for the most part. Going on to her ankles, you can see there's some gold right there. And now we get to probably my biggest issue with this figure. The ankles. They went with this ball hinge style ankle, which makes this almost impossible for her to stand. And the times I do get her standing, it's a miracle she's even standing. But I really do not like this setup. This is good for hands. It's not good for feet. I don't know why DC Collectibles keeps doing that, because Cheetah and Supergirl don't have these ankles. They have traditional hinge ankles, so they could have done it with Wonder Woman. They just chose not to, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I think that's the only thing I don't like about this figure, besides the fact she is missing some accessories. As you can see, she's finally standing here. So what we're going to do now is get her compared to a few other figures you may have in your collection. And there she goes, she just fell down. And so here we have the Essentials Wonder Woman, posed next to a DC Multiverse Superman and a Marvel Legends Cyclops. Here we do have Wonder Woman posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have the Essentials Wonder Woman posed next to the DC Essentials Superman and the DC Essentials Batman. And finally, here we have the DC Essentials Wonder Woman posed next to the DC Collectibles Icons Wonder Woman and the DC Multiverse Wonder Woman. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Wonder Woman's articulation. Now, she does have quite a bit of articulation, which I do like. She does have a ball joint in the head, which she can look up and down. Does get a little bit of head tilt, but really minuscule. She can turn left and right, no problem. She also does have a hinge in the neck, which lets her bury her head into, or her chin into her neck. And she can look up quite a little bit, but her hair does get in the way, which is a little bit unfortunate. Arms are on ball joints that go out to about that far. They do a full 360. They swivel at the bicep. She has double bend in the elbow. Do want to be a little bit careful. If you don't feel these bending, do heat them up, because she does have thinner arms than most figures. No gauntlet swivel, but we do have a swivel and hinge at the wrist, and that works no problem. She does have a ball joint here in the torso, so she leans forward about that far, leans back about that far, leans to the side, to the other side, rotates at that joint. No swivel here at the waist, which is a little bit unfortunate, but her legs do kick forward about that far, but they do kick back, and actually that joint is a little bit gummy right there. Let me try moving the other leg. Yeah, this leg moves a little bit further, so we do get some pretty good movement going forward. Outward movement, we would get the full split, but her skirt is hindering her articulation a little bit. We have a swivel at the thigh, double bend in the knee, works really good. Swivel at the boot, although we don't get a full swivel because the way her boot is designed, we only get a little bit of swivel. We do have a swivel here at the ankle. We have a hinge that goes forward and back, and it goes all the way forward, all the way back, and then we have, let's see if I can get that joint, swivel right here at the base of her ankle. And combining these two joints makes it impossible for her to stand, and you can see I'm already fighting to keep her standing a second time. So what we're going to do now is get her posed up for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the DC Essentials Wonder Woman posed for my final thoughts. Overall, this is a really nice figure. However, I do feel like she is severely lacking in accessories, seeing as how she doesn't come with a sword, doesn't come with an alternate lasso, no alternate hands, no shield, no nothing. We do get an alternate hand, which can be used for posing, but other than that, we really don't get anything with this Wonder Woman. And it's a shame because Wonder Woman is known for having a lot of accessories. Now, if you do like Wonder Woman, I think this is still a really great figure. The detailing on her is phenomenal. Unfortunately, on mine, I did find out that the left bicep is permanently fused at the hinge, so only the lower hinge on the forearm does swivel. I can't fix it, unfortunately, but it's still a really good figure. If you do like Wonder Woman, I really do recommend you pick up this figure, especially if you love the rebirth run that Wonder Woman has had. You're going to really enjoy this figure. Now, if you are looking for the Essentials Wonder Woman, as well as the Essentials collection, you will have to find them at your local comic book store. I was lucky enough to pick up mine from Asylum Comics, where I did pick up the entire wave, so a huge shout out to Asylum Comics for getting this out to me so I could review it for you guys. The Essential Wave will run you anywhere from $25 all the way to $28 before taxes, so you are looking to pay about $30 depending on which retailer you go to. I was lucky enough to pick up mine for $25, which is a pretty fair price for the Essentials figures. If you can pick this figure up, I recommend it, especially if you've been collecting the Essentials line like I have, or just want a really decent Wonder Woman figure. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other DC Essential videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. And while you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.